Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of RFD Outdoors. And today I got something a little different for you. Today I've actually got some underwater footage of some bait fish swimming. And I was going to go over kind of a little bit of the Ned Rig and how to fish it, and use kind of the underwater footage to show you kind of what the Ned Rig is actually imitating. So here I have the typical Ned Rig. This is the TRD lure made by Z-Man. And this is my own version of one of the mushroom heads that I've actually got a video for the mold making. So this is your typical lure, and notice how stretchy this is. Well, one thing that's unique about Z-Man's TRD is this material is extremely flexible for one, and it also floats. Now the floating is actually pretty key in this lure. So what happens is when you fish this, the weighted jig head actually sits like this on the bottom when you just rest it. As long as you don't have any current or anything, it'll just sit straight up like this. And the rounded mushroom head that they call it basically allows it to kind of sit where it just kind of wobbles and stuff on top of that head. Now, I don't know if the rounded with the flat-sided head is really necessary for this bait. It definitely helps, but what I want you to do is, when you watch this video, towards the end is when I get to the bait fish feeding. You can see them I got them kind of schooled up around me because I'm kicking up the sediment there, and they're feeding off the bugs and stuff in it. But when you watch them feed, they'll feed kind of down on the bottom, and they'll bounce on the rocks. And that's kind of what the Ned Rig imitates. I've got some other footage in there. So one of the reasons why I've kind of switched from the normal TRD to a swim bait, and this is also made by, let's see if I can actually show it. This guy is actually made by Z-Man as well, and this is called the Slim Swim Z. And this guy I like too because he also does a really good job at imitating bait fish, but it's a swim tail, so it's got a tail that just kind of wiggles back and forth in the water. And as you're watching the bait fish, you'll see why I like this. It definitely imitates bait fish, but I also get that floating and stretchy action from the Ned Rig that I like as well. So when it fishes down like this, and that little tail just kind of wobbles in the current. And then when you're reeling it in, you're also getting action when it comes back in. Where this one, you really get only the action of it bouncing up and down, but it still does a good job. So I got this one. Now there is one other option when you're fishing the Ned Rig, or I should say a couple other options, but they're all based around a different type of setup. So the other thing with the Ned Rig is you get a crawfish, and this is one of my homemade crawls. This is actually one of my own molds that I make. Now it's not made out of Z-Man elastic, so it doesn't stretch very much, but this is floating material, so when it does sit, it sits just like a Ned Rig. And so it'll float on the bottom, sticking up like this, and those little the little claws just wiggle in there. And they have a few other things that imitate bugs and stuff as well that do the same thing. But that sitting off the bottom action just kind of gives it a little bit of action that the fish really go after. And that's what's really key with the Ned Rig, is getting that action where you're sitting on the bottom, kind of sticking up, and you can bounce it around. But so I hope this footage kind of helps you see better how to imitate when you're fishing your lures. How the fish, like I said, bounce off the bottom. That's kind of the big key of the Ned Rig, and that'll show you basically a little bit about how the bait fish are feeding. Hope you enjoy this. If you do, give me a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from this. Thanks.